All of the ideas from the last three modules lead us to the question of how to figure out whether someone can and will be able to do what we need them to do in the organization. The answer to that question is represented by the process and concepts referred to as staffing decisions. When we're thinking about employment staffing, decisions are part of a process from recruiting potential employees to promoting to ending a person's employment. I also think about this as selection decisions, though, because the process and the logic is applicable to situations other than employment. I've mentioned volunteers a number of times in class, so it might not be a surprise I think of unpaid work. But that's not the only other time the ideas are relevant. They also relate to selecting, so to speak, friends or romantic partners. Ultimately, the goal of selection decisions is to find someone who fits with the role. In the context of employment, that might include identifying an applicant who has the characteristics necessary to do the job. In other words, person-job fit. Hopefully, you'll also ask yourself, what about person-organization fit? Good question. I'll say more about that in the recording about goals and pitfalls. Another question you might be asking is, how do we know if a person has the characteristics we're looking for? The short answer is that we use assessments, and assessments are measures of individual difference characteristics that are known to be reliable and valid. While we might not always use formal assessments or an intentional process, selection typically includes a number of steps. For example, selecting new organizational members starts with identifying potential members or applicants for the job. Then it includes at least one step where we gather information about a potential member before the step where we invite them to join the organization. Earlier I mentioned the idea of selection systems applies to situations other than hiring employees for jobs. It's part of the reason the big learning goal for this module is for you to be able to design an effective selection system. The assignment for class will focus on selecting someone for a role in an organization, but thinking about the process can be helpful as you consider a variety of other situations. So I think it can be valuable regardless of where your career takes you.